Hey, everybody, it is Tim Gillette, and welcome to another episode of the Tim Gillette Show, where we actually have real conversations with real influencers from around the world. These are people who are cool. These are people who are doing things. These are people who are changing the world. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is what we're going to talk about. And our today's guest is exactly that. She's an influencer. She is a real influencer. She's not one of these hyper made up people. This is a girl who you will probably see or have seen, all right, if you have been to events. She is everywhere. When I say influencer, this woman is out there shaking hands, all right, hugging on people, loving on them, and meeting them face to face, all right. And that is what a real influencer does. They're not just somebody who hides behind a screen. But however, today she's going to be behind the screen, behind the camera, and we're going to have a conversation with her about what she has going on. Michelle and I probably go back, I want to say 3 or 4 years. We met at a Craig Duswald event. We met again recently at a Craig Duswald event and got to say, hey, I want to get you on the show. And we connected to the problem as to why she was never getting the emails, and we got her in here today. So Michelle, I'm sure, has got tons of stories, and she is a real influencer, and I'm going to bring her up now so we can get to know her. Ready? Here we go. Hello, Michelle.
Hello, I'm real.
I know you are real. All right. It's hard to believe. Like, some people say, Michelle real? Yeah, she's at every event I've ever been to. You're at more events than the speakers I know. Anyway.
Okay, I'll stop laughing.
Michelle, you and I did meet through Craig Duswald, but we have a lot, and I do mean a lot of influencers in common. We know because we're connected to these people, and I'm talking like we've shaken hands with them, not just follow them on YouTube, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So, Michelle, but I really don't know what you do. I didn't. I know you was seeing you. But I've never really connected the dots and went, well, this is what Michelle does for a living. This is who she connects with. I just know you've got a huge name out there. So tell us a little bit about what you do.
Really what I do. Should I be poetic about it or just tell you down gritty? What I do is, by trade, I'm a speaker.
Yeah.
But my passion is not just speaking, it's messaging. It's crafting people's messages from whatever the big message is, where it's kind of convoluted into the atmosphere, to a succinct message of under 3 minutes that you can expand to 4 days or bring it down to an hour. I like to help people build their signature talk for their stage.
Yeah.
And that's what I tend to do. But in order to do that, to get people out of their own way, I say that I help pull that veil off of people. And the best way to explain that would be a Maya Angelou quote. Okay? My mission in life is not merely to survive, but to thrive and to do so with some passion, some compassion, some humor, and some style. And with that, I help others find their purpose, their goal, their mission in life, their mission statement, so that they can share that message to the world and give back stronger, more efficiently.
Wow. So you're a mission-driven person then?
A bit so, yes.
Just a little bit, huh? I found, and probably tell me to work with your clients, I found when I wrote down a mission and a purpose for why I get up and get into business every day, that tons of things fell by the wayside. Like, okay, don't need that. I became more direct in what I was doing. And I'll bet you have a list of clients who can say that same statement.
Exactly. I'm the first client I had. I mean, if you look back before, and let's say 5 years before my car accident, I had a car accident in 2014. I kind of just went through life like a leaf in the wind. And then once I realized that life was fragile, and then I found out I had breast cancer, and then I found life was even more fragile. That's when I went, okay, I must know my purpose on this planet. I must have goals, and I must seek them out. And once I started doing that, I stopped getting distracted by all the shiny things in the world and went, okay, I want this. This is going to help me get there. And everything I do is to get me to that end goal. And that end goal is to make a difference in as many lives as possible.
Cool. So mine was, I remember when I worked in the auto industry, I always said that back then I'm going to do something influential in the auto industry. And I did. There's 2 patents that are out there in the world because of ideas we came up with. So that was a cool thing. But I moved, and then I get into speaking, and I was speaking and teaching, and I didn't in the beginning didn't even have a message. I didn't know what I was going to talk about, and I got Craig kind of pushed me into something. And now, when in 2000, and I want to say it was 2018 when we started blogging VideoCon, I wrote a purpose down, and that was to my job is to create content creators, whether they be bloggers, vloggers, video people, or podcasters. And I said, I want a lifetime goal. I want to create 10,000 of them, and I want to help 10,000 of them have a following of 10,000 and make 10,000 a month. Well, that's a pretty darn freaking big goal, right? Something that drives you for a lifetime. When you sit with your clients, do you say, hey, a great message to get you through this year is great, but let's write something down that really is going to take your lifetime and then some to reach?
Yes, because with my clients, they'll tell me, oh, in the next 5 years, I do stop. Tomorrow is not promised. What do you want tomorrow, next week, the week after that? I mean, I crunch it down. So even when they give me a 6-month goal, we're going to hit it within a month. So it's like, let's move. Life is too short to do, well, next time I'm gonna. No, the thoughts in your head, let's make it happen. Make any step towards it, because you don't know if you've got the next 20 years to go. So you make that goal so enormous that all the little steps in between are kind of big.
Yeah. But almost, I mean, are you, but then are you, when you're focusing on the little goals, but are you focusing on the main mission of past your lifetime?
Yes, the legacy.
Okay, yeah. I was wondering, because some people, they look at lifetime goals, and I think you were, as a matter of fact, you were in the room. I think you were in the room when I called Craig out on his goal. I don't remember if you were, but Craig Duswalt is my mentor. Somebody actually was on a call with him this morning. Has always said, you got to have big goals, like lifetime goals. One of my lifetime goals is to own the Kansas City Chiefs. And
yes.
And were you in the room when I did that? And then he goes, yeah, but that'll never happen. And he starts going on, and I'm like, whoa, I called him in the back room. I'm like, I'm calling you out on that. You cannot tell me to have a big goal and then list your big goal and say it can't happen, Craig. And he's like,
well,
yeah.
And then
I'm like,
I almost raised my hand to get him on the other one. He says, I don't like to partner with anybody. I do. And I put it in my hand. I'm like, unless it involves buying the Chiefs.
Kansas City Chiefs, yeah. I mean,
funny.
Come on. I would if I had the money, I'd partner with him on that. Heck yeah.
Yeah. And my thing is, it's more about legacy. What do we leave this planet? What do we leave when we're gone? And I mean, I started a partnership. You probably met Todd Westra. He was the one on stage. Yes. So I partnered with Todd and Ken Rochon. So Todd Westra and Ken Rochon, who's that Keep Smiling movement. We came together to do Amplifluence, and we are helping others, authors, speakers, and coaches build or amplify their influence so that they leave legacy beyond themselves. Yeah, I'm all about legacy and what bigger picture are we serving?
Exactly. And I look at, when people look at legacy, sometimes they just look at their own family. And I don't. I look a little bit bigger than that. And the reason being is, in my lifetime, I've been honored, and I do mean honored, to meet people, and the people I've met and became friends with. Like, we both know Glenn Morshower. All right. We both, I don't know if you knew, but I knew Zig Ziglar personally. Right. And when you see the outreach of a Glenn Morshower and how he puts his message out there, or even Craig Duswalt's this way, but Zig Ziglar, I mean, I am still, I didn't make yesterday, but I'm still on a Monday morning call with people from Ziglar every Monday morning. That is a family that's growing and growing and growing and growing. And that's a legacy. Like, not somebody who goes like, let's all worship Zig. No, let's carry a message to the world. And Zig's been gone 10 years now. And still that message is growing. That's legacy to me.
Legacy. And that's why I'm part of the John Maxwell team.
Yeah.
John Maxwell is legacy. We're a family, and we all have that same mission of leaving the world a better place and making the mark to lift other people to find their best version of them and be, move nations. We go from country to country, helping train the the leaders of their country. And then, we train from afar, but we go in there physically as a John Maxwell team. It's about legacy for the world, not just us.
It's very, very,
I love
very,
being
very
part of that bigger picture.
Yeah. So let's get into your story a little bit here, Michelle. All right. You mentioned a little bit about the car accident and the breast cancer. All right. Before 10 years ago, when this, or 8 years ago, when this started, all right, what was Michelle's life like back then?
I was a military spouse, still am. Military spouse, mother of 2, working every day to just take care of my family and do the little jobs I could between taking care of my family. I had no goal. I had no mission. My only goal was raise good children to be good people, support my husband, because we moved every 4 years. So that was my goal. And then when I started getting antsy because my brain moves at 20 Mach, I'm like a jet engine inside of here, but I was slowing down in order to take care of my family, and watching kiddie shows and, taking care of things I needed more. And so I applied and started working with the local politics here in Colorado because I'm very good at words. I'm very good at hearing other people's speeches and condensing them. It's a gift of mine, and condensing messages. So I worked in the political arena doing that for politicians and writing their little swags that they would send out to the public about what they stand for. And I thought that was my goal. That's my mission, to give back to the world that way. And then when I had my car accident in 2014, it was right after one of the election cycles. I forgot everything. I mean, it knocked it out of me. So I had a concussion. I have 4 areas of my brain that were affected. I'm missing my frontal lobe over my left ear, the back of my head, and my 2 hemispheres disconnected. So I lost years of my life. And in that was everyone I knew and everything I knew about the politics side. And I took that as a sign that in those 2 years I was trapped in my head, not being able to move or walk, and I couldn't speak. I evaluated myself, and I looked at all the things I shoulda, woulda, coulda done and didn't. And I beat myself up mentally for not living a life of any intention. Wow. I just lived every day. And so when I was in my head stuck, they didn't know I was as cognizant as I was, but I wrote a book in my head. I wrote a book called It's Not Luck, Overcoming You. I eventually published it when I started walking and talking again. But the book was about all the arguments I had with my own inner critics. And I thought, if I can argue and win, I can guide others to argue and win. And once you can win against your own voices, you're unstoppable. And so at the 2-year mark, when I started walking and started to walk and talk and went into rehab to relearn everything again, I did a TED Talk, did a TEDx here, and wrote another book called Eat, Drink, and Be Merry, and dedicated to my mother-in-law, the lessons I learned. And I have to share those because my TEDx was, the 3 lessons I learned from my mother-in-law was, number 1, you must have a goal, but you need to be flexible on how you get to that goal. So many people start moving towards a goal and they do, there's a roadblock. I can't do it. It's not for me. It's for someone else. No, it's like a GPS. It gave you another route. Find the other route, but have a goal. Number 2, eat dessert first. Life is too short. You are never promised tomorrow. So enjoy the little things in life, like children laughing, wear your diamond earrings, wear those good shoes, buy that suit that you wanted to wear, buy that guitar that's behind you. If you love it, do it, because you don't know if tomorrow's coming. And then the third thing she always told me was, it's an Ellen Glasgow quote. The differences between a rut and a grave are the dimensions. If you're doing the same thing every day and expecting something different, you're just building the dimensions of your grave. You must step out of your rut to get to where you want to go. Yeah. So that's what happened with me, the whole journey of that. And then I went and did that TED Talk, declared to the world that I was going to live with intention and live with purpose. I was 389 pounds on that stage. And I said to the world, I am not going to live willy-nilly. I'm going to take charge of my life. And I've been doing it every day, making a choice. I'm being a better version of myself, a healthier version of myself, even through my breast cancer and all the other 9 surgeries I've had in the past 3 years, of just becoming the best version of me and giving back to the world in the biggest, brightest way I possibly can. And now here you are, you see me 200 and something pounds lighter, far more driven, but even more so, much more happier than I was before.
I was going to say you're much more bubbly. All right. You know what I mean? Every time I see you, it seems like you've plugged the Energizer Bunny in a little bit more.
Yes. It's called purpose.
You mentioned that, all right, is this one here, by the way, was one of my pandemic learning cycles. I don't know how to play guitar, but I bought 2 guitar kits and built them to learn how the guitar works. I've gotten that down, but I still can't play a guitar.
That's awesome. I applaud you. That's amazing. Always learn something new. I mean, think of all the things that you're curious about, that so many people get curious about something and they never do it. I tell you, I died on a couple of those tables on the surgeries. And I know in my mind, I went through, oh, but I didn't. Oh, but I didn't. Oh, I wish when I die, you're going to know I died with a smile on my face, and I'm pretty happy about how my life. And I think that's really where that purpose driven has coming from, is that I want other people to have no regrets, live full, and don't keep saying one day, because one day may not come.
One of the things that Zig, and I knew Zig personally, by the way. I didn't know Zig the speaker. I knew Zig the person, which was really cool. But one of the things that Zig, he always used to say was, I don't want to arrive to the grave all preserved and looking good. He said, I want to show up in a body that's all worn out, used up, slide into that grave sideways, going, woohoo, what a ride.
I'm telling you, I'm coming in hot. I'm telling you, I'm going to come in hot.
Well, that's it. And I do remember, though, this about Zig. And to me, it's been a huge inspiration. He died 2 years after my father. Who was my other very much, inspiration in my life. And Zig, the day the doctor said, Zig, you've got about 4 or 5 months to live. Most of us would sit there and go, oh, you know what Zig said? He said, woohoo, I get to graduate finally. That was his mindset the whole time. He spent his life on this earth in education to go to heaven, to live a life in peace for the rest. And I'm like, wow. What an outlook. That legacy
he left. He left a legacy and a roadmap for so many other people to live the same way.
He did.
When I was diagnosed with my breast cancer, they told me I had approximately 3 months to live. And my thought was, well, then I better get moving. I've got 3 months to finish everything I was supposed to do in a lifetime. So let's go. And what's funny is I finished it. And that's one of the other things I do with the coaching is, what do you want? Why are you waiting? Let's do it now. Because I can tell you, I did a lifetime in 3 months. Well, it actually ended up being 6 months because I added a few more things. But now I had a whole new bucket list because I accomplished what I thought I wanted. And now it's like, whoa, the world is my oyster. Let's just keep going until I drop.
Keep going. That's right.
Bring as many people with me as possible. There's a mission going on because life's too short. Yeah.
Well, did you find, though, all right, when you started sitting there and writing down all these things, like, okay, I got to go do this, I got to do this, all right, do you find that gave you energy and you stopped really thinking about, oh, there's a possibility I'm dying?
My thing was, and some people around me got upset about it. I said, don't feel bad about me dying. We're all dying. Matter of fact, I see it as a benefit. I know what's going to get me. So it's not going to be a mystery. The chances of me having cancer and getting hit by a bus are slim. In my book, if I have cancer, cancer is going to get me. So I wasn't so worried about, downhill skiing or jumping out of airplanes, because I'm like, well, it's going to get me. It's going to be cancer. So I live more in the moment because I'm like, why not? So I think what happened with my goal setting wasn't that I knew I was dying. It was, I didn't care what was getting me. I was more focused on finishing it and being an example to my children to know, even with mom sick as a dog as she is, she's still smiling and she's still moving forward. She still went for what she wanted and she didn't give up. And then by giving that message to my own children, the books ended up publishing. I'm doing all this other stuff. And I just encouraged more people in my circle, and then past me. And then I got an award in India and got to do more encouragement there. I mean, it just expanded me into an international speaker. And I didn't even know I was one. I was just trying to encourage my family and my kids. So whatever you're out there, if you're listening, whatever you want, go do it, and do it with all your heart and passion, because you may be thinking of only like 3 people like I was, but now you've got hundreds of thousands behind you. And if you don't want that, you're still encouraging whoever's watching you. We're all examples. We're all leaders to somebody. So be the best version of that.
Yep. Well, let me ask you this. All right. With all the coaching people, the coaching clients and the people you're helping now, do you still get some come in that, you know what I mean? They oh yeah, I want that. They make the investment, they become a client, and then they are doing half the work or 1/3 the work. And you really want to go, get to work.
I fire them.
Do you? You don't keep them in? Okay.
I have a mission of taking care of and guiding people who really want what they want to make a difference in the world. I'm basically causing a domino effect. Started with me, and then anyone else that comes into my realm, you become your own domino and you go. But if they come into my realm and they do, well, kind of, I don't coddle. Yeah. So if you want to work and you want to work hard and move fast, you're the right person for me. If you want someone to do, you know what, you had a bad week, you can just sit back for a while. This takes some time. You don't want me. And so what I do is I will suggest them to one of my other friends in the coaching world, especially like the John Maxwell coaching world. I'll send them off to one of my other friends, because I have a mission in this life. And I don't have time for people who are dragging their feet, because my thought process is that energy. That's why I love Craig's events. The energy in that room.
The energy in that room is just outrageous. Yeah. If you've never been to a Craig Duswall event, you got to go, guys.
So I go there because it's like, you think I'm supercharged. When I go in that room, I just get supercharged. And then I bring them to my clients. And that's my thing is I want all of that energy to combine and just be a tsunami across the world. If I have one wave that refuses to wave or wants to go sideways and cut the waves, we don't want that energy in this tribe. So our mission in life together is to move fast, efficiently, and bring each other with us. So we're all one big wave working together.
Wow. So I find it interesting because I found it interesting when I was jotting that question down to ask you, is because when you're an all-out person, all right, it is hard to be around people who are not all out. It is very hard to be around people who are like, you feel like they are dragging you down. All right.
Yes. Because I really do I do move at Mach 20. If you're ever around me, well, you've seen me at the events.
I've seen you.
I move fast and I think fast. And so when people are around me, you either move fast or step aside, because the people who are with me are moving fast, because we've got a mission. And we've got people lives to change and people to help them turn on their light bulb, amplify their lives so that they can amplify more. You know, you've heard that cool quote about lights don't put out lights. Lights light other lights. We're out there lighting. Let's go.
Yeah. And it's interesting you say that, because like, you know, when you talk about how you're all out, you probably at this past event of Craig's probably seen me all out for the first time, because I worked the back of the room and I made decisions that, like, you know, I went to Craig and I was like, oh, by the way, I made this decision for your event because nobody else was here to ask. So I did it because I wanted, and I told Craig this when I did that job. And as I said, Craig, my job at your event is to make sure the experience of everybody who comes in is to have a great experience. All right. And I made that my mission when I went there. So I had a blast doing the job because I had a mission. So then I get to see people like you come in, and it's like, okay. And I realized when I seen you, I realized, okay, my energy level at running this event is here. And I have you come in up here. And I'm like, oh, crap, I got to act fast.
Remember, every time I passed you, did you eat? Because I was going to hand you a granola bar. I was like, did you eat? Did you eat? Keep going.
I did. I had a very good schedule with making sure I was fed, and then making sure I had to make sure other people were fed as well. And you know what I mean? And One of the unique things about it, and you probably tell me a story or two about you having this happen, was when Bill Wallace was on stage from Success North Dallas, and Bill Wallace said, one of the things I teach people in networking is connect the right people who need to be connected, and then stand back and watch it happen. Mm-hmm. That is what I did to make most of that event happen. I introduced those two, and then I stood back. I can't take credit for what Bill and Craig are doing together, but my job was to introduce them. And I'm sure you have that in your realm where you go, you know what? I just need to connect these two people. That's all the energy I need to put into it, and move and step back.
I did an Amplifluence event where I did a movers and shakers of North Dallas, and I invited Craig personally because I met Todd, the web guy, the SEO web guy. And I'm like, oh, Craig, you have got to meet him. I already have a web guy too. Todd Westra's different. You need to meet him. He is, okay, I'll talk to him. And the next time he saw me, he's like, he's awesome. I know. I don't send people to other people unless I've vetted them. And I'm telling you, I listen to him, and I know you need him. And I know everyone in your event, anyone who's in your tribe needs this man. And he's like, I'm not going to doubt you. It's like, I know, I told you. I may be quiet.
But Todd, if you're listening, you missed our appointment yesterday, and you never called me back. No.
Ooh,
Todd scheduled. We scheduled 2 appointments. One this week on my calendar, one next week on Todd's calendar, because we weren't sure which one we were going to be able to make happen.
Okay. See,
we both had busy schedules, and we knew it. So I said, let's just put schedules on each other's calendar, so we'll catch one of them. And he texted me last minute and goes, dude, I got to get on a plane. All right. And I'm stuck on a plane because I got my flight delayed. And I'm like, okay, don't worry about it. We'll connect next one. But
I'm telling you,
but Todd and I are friends, like in a way, like we started messing with each other the second we met. And him and I are going to be good friends. Yeah.
You know how we met?
How'd you meet him?
He found me on LinkedIn with one of his bots.
Wow.
His bots are so good. I thought it was him.
Wow.
And then because I answered in the way I answered, the bot turned it to him, and then he started talking to me. And then we made an appointment to meet. He has, okay, well, the algorithm told me I need to talk to you, his algorithm. And so we get on a call like this, and we're talking. He has, I am so glad I met you.
Yeah.
And we've been inseparable since.
Yeah. I'm looking forward, because that's the main reason I'm reaching out to him and connect is the LinkedIn. Like, a lot of the web stuff, I do, blogging. So him and I'm going to use him as a consultant. But the second he said, Tim, I'm going to get you away from Kartra. I'm like, dude, I just learned Kartra. I'm not moving from it. It runs my world.
Yes,
so,
he will.
He's got really good he's tell me another solution. I know he will, but that's the way he is.
Yeah. I can't wait to work more with him, because amazing.
Yeah. So, now both times I've seen you at Craig's event, Ken has been with you. All right. Who's smiling guy. I want to know how you met Ken and how you guys connected.
Okay. I met Ken because I was in the Ultimate Speaker competition in Orlando, Florida. Okay. And he was the photographer. I did not want to compete. Oh, I'm one of those people who do not want to compete. I didn't even compete in Toastmasters. I think I did 2 competitions, and I didn't want to do that anymore. But I went to the Ultimate Speaker because of the people that were going to be in the room, the people I would meet in that room. Mm-hmm. And I won. And when I won, Ken came up to me. I've been to a lot of conventions. I've heard a lot of speakers. You are the best speaker I have ever heard. And I'm not joking. I said, you're just flirting. He has, no, I'm not joking. You're amazing. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, I blew him off. And we ended up going into like a limo, and I got squeezed. We ran out of room in the limo, and I had to sit next to him. And he and I just hit it off. We started talking and laughing. And then I found out he was a publisher. So I had him publish my next book, Hold My Crown, Women of Grit Share Stories of Resilience. And I got to laugh. My complaint was I didn't want a publisher. I wanted a marketing person who could market. I said, I can publish. I need someone to market for me. And he has, I am a marketer. I'm a marketer who decided to publish his own books. So he published Hold My Crown, Women of Grit Share Stories of Resilience for me. He's a photographer. He's the one who took a picture of the crown.
Cool.
So he was like a 3-in-1 for me. He was my publisher, he was my marketing person, and he's my photographer. And so I travel around with him a lot because now we've partnered with Todd to do Amplifluence to help other people do what he's done, what Ken has done for me as a speaker, an author, and a coach. He's helping all these other people in that same realm in the beginning stages so they don't go through all the growing pains that I went through as a speaker, author, coach. And then with Todd, he's bringing all the systems that I needed when I was newer in this, but I've grown so well by luck, honestly. I think, I mean, I don't know how I did what I did by getting the right people around me. So this way I got a package of these two men and their two businesses, publishing, photography, and systems, and then me with speaking to help more people like younger versions of me become more successful for in the next several years of their career. That's how I met Ken.
That is awesome. So now you did, before that, before you go into this, but like one of the things I've had was I had a client who paid big time for a publishing deal before she met me and found out that it really basically she could have bought from like one of our cheap publishers what she got because she was expecting the marketing and didn't get it. So it's good that Ken has that, because that is a huge deal in the publishing industry or in the blogging or podcasting. Everybody's willing to put you on a show, but like it doesn't go anywhere because you don't have a market. It's great to have the recording, but it doesn't go anywhere. And that's where it's a good thing you found Ken for that, because so many people are looking for that.
Well, you have to think my first two books, I had a publisher, but I didn't look for anyone who would market. I marketed for myself. Now Ken, not only did he publish, but he prepped me and my all the other authors. So I have 17 authors total. Prepped us for what we're going to do as we're feeding into social media, how we send things out on our CRMs to our mailing list, all those kind of things, and said what to say. And so I was building everything. And so by the time the book launches, or the first book launched, we had this following. So we sold books so quick and so fast. It was because it was all the pre-sale before the book actually launched. I never had that before. So with Ken, he's been able to open my eyes to more marketing, which is funny because my bachelor's is in marketing, but he sees it differently and he thinks did you get a chance to talk to Ken Roshan? Dr. Smiley?
Very, very limited. All right. And I did another smile photo with him because every time I see him, I want to do another smile photo. The problem is I've got a collection of smile cards and I keep trying to get the card back. And he goes, no, Tim, you got to keep the card. And I'm like,
hand them to someone else.
I know. That's what I got to start doing, because like he always does it when I'm busy in the middle of an event. And I'm like, okay. And I have no pockets.
2 seconds. But no, I leave my card.
It's the holding of the card. If you notice Craig's event, right? No, Craig's event, I did not have my phone, or I think my phone was the only thing I carried with me. I didn't have my wallet with me. I didn't have my keys with me, nothing. I had my phone because it would get me into my room, and that's it. I didn't have a briefcase, none of that. So it's like when someone hands me something, I'm like, I have no place to put it.
I would leave his cards everywhere. I left cards in my hotel room, at the reception desk, in the bathroom, because people get it and they smile.
Yeah. I learned from him. I should have just taken it and put it on my table, because I didn't go by my table at all weekend. I should have just left it there for people to use. Anyway,
So the Keep Smiling movement, I became very passionate about that because I, one, love to smile, but two, the world needs more smiles. And it's just such a simple thing. And that's why I was excited when Craig said, hey, go get a picture with Ken out there. We're going to make a book of the Keep Smiling movement for, rock your life. I'm like, yeah, that's awesome.
Cool.
Because we all need a reminder. We need those reminders. We
do. So anyway, well, I mean, you mentioned book. All right. I understand you got a book, you know what I mean? A book launch coming up. All right. From like, we're recording this now at the end of February, but I think like March or something. Don't you have a book launch coming up?
March 19th. At the Arlington Brew House.
Arlington Brew House. You know. I live in Texas. When you say Arlington,
Virginia,
I go to go by the Cowboy Stadium.
Arlington, Virginia. We are doing a book launch for Hold My Crown, Queen's Edition. The next one is called the King's Edition. That's not coming out until July. But
Okay.
Hold My Crown is launching on March 19th in honor of Women's History Month. So we're
Oh,
going to DC and we're doing it there because it's the stories of resilience from women from around the world. And,
you,
very successful women in showing how they went through hell and who they are today and how they give back to the world.
you know why March is, Women's History Month, and why March 8th is International Women's Day?
Why?
Because it's my mom's birthday.
Oh, really?
It is.
Happy birthday to your mom.
And she says every year, all right, let me face it. Let me tell you, I impacted the society. I had a birthday on that day. Decided to say, you know what? We're going to make this International Women's Day.
That's fabulous. What a great day.
What a great way to take inspiration from something and use it.
Heck yeah.
So,
Good, because
did you get a chance to meet my mom at Craig's event?
No.
No. Okay. Yeah. She was only there for one day. All right. For part of it. And everybody come up to me afterwards. Goes, I love your mom. And some people are like, I see where you get your sense of humor from now.
Well, you remember I missed the first day because of the snowstorm in Texas.
Yeah. A lot of people did because of that. So, all right. And it was, you know what I mean? It was a tough deal, but I kind of knew it was coming, and I know what happens when Texas get a snowstorm because I've lived here for 25 years. So I went up a day early, and I took my suitcase, walked into the front desk, and I said, any chance I can get my room a day early? And they're like, yep, as a matter of fact, you can. So, yeah.
Yeah, and I stayed with my baby brother who lives out there, and whoa, snowstorm, ice storm. I have never seen so much ice before in my life. Yeah. So, yeah, I missed the first day because I stayed with my brother and I was a lot farther away than I anticipated to be with an ice storm.
Cool. So, well, before we wrap up here, all right, there's two questions I've started asking everybody, Michelle, as part of my podcast. Number one was when I was a young adult, a boss gave me job advice that turned out to be life advice. And he basically told me, act like you own the company when you're here, which caused Tim to take ownership of everything he does in his life. Did someone give you advice when you were younger that maybe it was just advice on how to get through the week, but you adapted it to become life advice?
Actually, I wrote a book about it. I did my TEDx about it. My mother-in-law, Michelle Mras, she was my math teacher when I was 14 in high school. And she told me, Michelle, stop dreaming and wishing for things. Stand up for who you are. I said, what do you mean? She said, whatever you want, it's already there. Act like you're there already. Stand like you're there already. Dress like you're there already. And it didn't really click on me until I was in my 40s. And I went, oh, I'm the Blasian Oprah. I've got the next show and the world knows me. And once I did that, the world started opening around me because I owned my future before I got there. It's just waiting for me.
Cool. So my second question, all right, can have a negative thing, but it doesn't to me, is this past summer, I interviewed one of my best friends, all right, that I've known for 20 years. And it would be the last interview he did. He passed away from COVID. And after he passed away, thousands of people came to hear that interview one last time, to hear him one last time. And I since have developed a question to ask you as my guest. Those people who are going to seek this interview out someday, not anytime soon, because you're not going anytime soon, but someday they're going to seek this out, wanting one more bit of advice from you. What would that advice be?
Change is an emotional journey. It is not a field of daisies with butterflies. It's hard. It hurts. It's uncomfortable. But the magic is that it forces you to be and elevate who you are. The beauty is in the possibilities of what comes from that change, from that pain. So trust the process. Keep moving. Get back up.
Cool. I love it. It's almost like that Rocky movie where he says, life's going to hit you hard. It's, how hard you go, keep moving forward, how hard you get and keep moving forward. I love that. Same concept. I love it. That is awesome. So
thank you.
Well, Michelle, I want to make sure people can actually reach out to you and connect with you, take this relationship to another level. What's the best website that they can reach you at?
I have a brain injury, so it's really simple. My name, MichelleMras.com, MichelleMras.com, MichelleMras.com. Everything is there. Every link you could ever find me for, any course you might want, anytime you want to get my calendar, it's all there because I have a brain injury. I dummy proofed it for myself so I can find everything. You'll be able to find me. I'm everywhere.
As we would say at my company, you made it simple, easy.
Yeah.
Well, Michelle, before you go, I play a game with every one of my guests, and I have 7 envelopes in front of me. You get to pick 3 of them, and I'm going to ask you the questions inside those envelopes.
Okay. 3, 2, 7.
3, 2, and 7. You will not know what's in these envelopes. As for envelope number 3, let's open up and find out what kind of things we get to find out about Michelle. Michelle, when you are riding in your car, do you like to listen to a podcast or music?
Ooh. Music.
Music? Ah, okay. Yeah. Still some music people out there. Question number 2. Are you a high heels girl or a boots girl?
I am a high heels wearing 5-inch plateau shoes because I'm 5 foot.
I knew the answer to that one, and I was glad that question was in one of your choices. So
I love him.
Question number 3. At the movies, do you prefer to eat popcorn or candy?
I mix them.
You got to tell us what you mix now. Come on. Tell the whole audience. They've got to make this mixture.
Okay, well, if you see behind me, for those of you who are watching, I love M&Ms. So I tend to smuggle M&Ms into the movie theater, and I dump them into my buttered popcorn, and I tend to have a bag of mixed nuts that I throw into my popcorn. That's what I eat. Now every movie theater is going to stop me at the door when they notice me. But yes,
no. A smart movie theater would sell that as a package now and call it the Michelle package.
That is true. Because, that salty and the sweet mix. Oh, I love it.
And if you market it to the movie theaters, all right, you should get a penny for every one they sell.
Oh, I like that idea. Good idea, Tim.
Just thinking like a business person there. Envelope number 2. Question number 1. Oh, goody. At your house, does the toilet paper go over on the roll or under?
It goes over, and if someone puts it under, I take it off and put it over.
I love that question to find out how the greatest thing on that one, Michelle, that I've asked over the years. I've asked one person one time, and the whole interview, they're this love and rainbows and sunshine. I asked that question, and fangs come out. Over! And I'm like, yeah, okay.
Well, the thing is I don't get upset about it. I just fix it.
I know. That's it.
Just like toilet seat down or up, I don't care. I fix it.
I fix it. That's it. Fix it. Move on. Don't focus on it. Question number 2. I don't know if this one adapts to you because I don't know whether you do or not, drink or not, and that is beer or wine.
Ooh, that's difficult because I drink Tito's.
Tito's. You do know that Texas makes other good vodka, right?
I know, but that's what we have in Colorado.
Okay.
But if I have to choose between beer and wine, I would choose beer.
Yeah.
My podcast partner, that's how I met him, drinking beer on his front porch. That's how Denim and Pearls of Wisdom from the porch, basically.
Yeah.
It's because we were drinking beer on the porch. Yes. Craft beer.
So I don't know if you know this. Last night I did on Monday nights, I have a podcast with my friend in Oregon, and we do a drinking podcast. And last night we made our own old fashions and we pair food with it. Our very first podcast, we did vodkas, and we did a vodka from Texas, a vodka from Colorado, and a vodka from Oregon.
So you're going to send me a bottle of the best one?
We can't send bottles out, but we can recommend where to go. No,
I'll meet you in Texas. I'm coming back next month anyways.
Come on back. All right. When you get here, I'm going to tell you, if you want a vodka to try, Dripping Springs vodka.
Okay. Okay.
It's out of Dripping, same area, basically same area where Tito's started. All right, but they're down there, and it is real neat. That's our favorite vodka. It's what I got on my bar downstairs, and I got a big bottle downstairs. Yeah.
Okay, I'll check it out.
You're gonna have to come by my house because I have a bar downstairs, but then in my office I have what's known as a moonshine bar.
Oh dear.
Yeah. I had moonshine with me up at Craig's event because I can carry it up in my car.
Oh really?
Yeah. I'm a big moonshine and whiskey guy, so yeah. Anyway, question number 3 in this envelope is Superman or Batman?
Oh, Superman.
Okay. And is that because you met Dean Cain? I'm just curious now.
No, because Superman is not angry.
No, he's not. You're
That
right.
energy, remember, I surround myself with positive energy. Batman's a brooding, upset man, not happy. Superman's a happy, peaceful man. He's my kind of people.
Yeah. And yeah, well, I know through Craig, we've all met Dean Cain, and I still think Dean's my favorite Superman. I told him that, and he told me his favorite Superman, was Christopher.
Yeah.
So.
Well, of course he's going to say that. He's the original. That was his idol when he created his own Superman.
Yeah, it was. So, and he actually got to talk with Christopher about it, before Christopher passed away. So,
yeah, no, Dean's a priest.
Our last envelope number 7. We have 3 more questions to go. These are the minor ones, but would you like when you're talking to people, do you do a phone call or do you prefer a text first?
Text first.
Yeah. I'm a texter. Text me before I got to get on the phone with you. And I hardly ever take a phone call. I mostly book, most of my clients, they book Zoom rooms now. Mm-hmm. I do a video chat. I can see people. I don't know.
Me too. I want to see eyeballs. I like eyes.
It is. It's huge for me to see eyes. So, question number 2, which are you afraid of most, snakes or spiders?
Spiders.
Spiders? I'm a snake guy. I can't take snakes.
You want to know why I'm afraid of spiders?
Why?
I grew up in the Philippines and they got bigger. I mean, they're banana spiders and their legs are like 3 feet long and their bodies are like 2 feet. Oh my gosh, they were huge and terrifying. I'm afraid of spiders because I've seen all their eyes up close and personal.
Oh my gosh. So yeah, I never thought about that. I'm thinking smaller spiders and I'm like, I can squash them, but the snake has always scared me. Yeah, because the snake can sneak up onto you, and like you walk through the grass. And I've had it with rattlers. In Texas, you walk through the grass and you don't see them until you're right up on them. Yeah. Yeah.
With me in the Philippines, it was pythons, but they were 20 feet long, and you'd see those puppies come. They're big.
Yeah. So, the last question. Yeah. Last question in here. Right. When you clip your papers together, do you use staples or paper clips?
Neither. I use these clips. What are these?
That's a paper clip.
This is a paper clip.
Called a paper clip, by the way.
No, paper clips are the little metal ones that are just twirled around. These are clasps, paper clasps.
Clasps. Okay. Technicality. So anyway, Michelle, one more time, I want you to repeat your website so that people, both audio and video, can find you and find out more about you.
I'm going to use my radio voice now. To find me, you just go to www.michellemras.com. That's MICHELLEMRAS.com.
You should be a radio announcer with a voice like that.
I'm the GPS coordinator in my car. I do, in 300 yards, turn right.
This is a fun story. I can share with you some other time. Except for the fact it's like a demeaning word. All right. I was in LA 12, 15 years ago, and a big black comedian, he did the N-word GPS was his skit. And he literally talked about, right. And I realize the word's derogatory, right? But he made such fun of the idea. You guys have these prissy sounding little, GPS voices. You need a black man's GPS that goes, yo, honky, turn right now.
Well, I have a secret to tell you.
Yeah.
In college, I was the voice for a credit union in a bank in Omaha. Thank you for calling Omaha Federal Credit Union. If you'd like to speak to a teller, please press 1. That was me. Uh-huh. I've missed a calling.
Anyway. Well, Michelle, I want to thank you for taking time out of your schedule today, sharing with my audience, all right, my community, your story, all right, your book, all right, your passions, all right, and definitely things that you're doing to change the world. I appreciate that so much.
Thank you so much, and thank you to Believe in Yourself. He's made a lot of comments on this side. I can't read them fast enough.
I know. Yeah, that's Robert. Robert's one of our shall we say, he's one of our legendary listeners. All right. He is into almost every show. If he doesn't catch it live, he does watch the replay. Robert is an awesome guy. So
Awesome.
I think he's our number one fan of the show. So cool to see
It's a
him.
Brian welcome too. So, well, thank
I
you
see
so
Brian
much
in
for
there as well.
having me.
I didn't have time to get all the comments up today. So, but anyway, Michelle, thank you so much for being on the show. All right. And I appreciate it. So
Thank you.
to you, the listeners, I want to thank you guys for tuning in today, checking us out. All right. Our number one fans, our number two fans, all of our fans, we appreciate you watching and listening. Do me a favor, go to michellemras.com and go get on her email list, find out more about her, and check out her new book coming up. As well as, guys, I would appreciate it if you'd go to our YouTube channel, all right, and subscribe to where you get your podcast. I'm Tim Gillette with The Tim Gillette Show. I'll be back later this week with another guest. Have a great day, guys. Bye.